And we're here. Episode number 37.
Semi Ojale.
I don't have any. 37.
Ron Artest.
Was he 37?
1 point, I think. Meta World Peace. AKA Ron Artest. Semi Ojale, I think, was 37. Is Missy 37?
I thought he was like in the 40s or 50s.
Crap.
Could be wrong. Anyway, there's more important stuff to get into.
In the world of NBA and basketball.
Well, besides that, we did a little slight tweaks to our setup, as you probably see. Right behind me is a Fox jersey, and out of the picture, which you don't really see, is a Halliburton and Siakam picture.
Where? Ah.
Maybe I'll show it in the video as a thumbnail, but 2-2 series right now, going into Game 5 on Monday night. Kind of weird they didn't have a game on a Sunday, but I don't know. I'm not sure why. I don't know if you want to start with your segment.
Alright, that's not how you go about it. We are talking about the trade first. More worthy news first, and then we get into some more in-depth stuff about what we want to talk about. So first, let's talk about this trade that came through today, unexpectedly for a lot of people. We would say the Magic got a little bit fleeced here. Do you want to give the details on what happened on the trade?
All right, so the Magic get Desmond, Bane, and the Grizzlies get 4 first-round picks. And that includes
5, including a swap.
This year, which is the 16th pick, unprotected in 26, 28, and 30, and then a 29 swap. I'm assuming they would get the better pick there. You would have to assume. So a pretty big haul for what the Magic think.
The players you didn't name either.
Also the Grizzlies get Cole Anthony and KCP. Which you could say
are Caldwell Pope for those listening.
Which you could say are like, I mean, they're kind of a negative asset in the sense that their contract isn't that great. Contavious had a down year last year, shooting terribly. They thought he would be a good piece to their team in free agency, but as we know, last free agency was a total dud, including Paul George, one of the worst free agencies. You could argue the 2 best names in that free agency ended up being pretty bad contracts. I'm not totally sure what Cole Anthony's making, but
didn't he get an extension at one point? We'll post all this stuff on the screen, by the way, guys, for visuals on what we're talking about for those on the YouTube side. And yeah, he does have a contract as of when?
13 million?
As of this year, yeah, he signed a 3-year deal. So the coming year and the one after is what he signed for.
That's not a terrible contract for I mean, he's hard to play in the playoffs, and he's pretty inconsistent shooting wise. So maybe it is a bad contract, but it's not as bad as.
I mean, $13 million
in today's NBA. That's like pocket change
for the Grizzlies. He's not on the Magic anymore.
Do you think this is the start of the Grizzlies rebuild, or is it a retool?
To rebuild, they would have to get rid of Ja and JJJ. retooling is what I'd call it for now, unless those things happen.
Yeah, I mean, I feel like the Grizzlies have a lot of depth, so them getting more depth kind of intrigues me that it might be the start of a rebuild because you would think they would want to upgrade up and not down in the sense of they need another star player in the Grizzlies. So my thinking is that it's the start of a rebuild, and that's what I'm sticking to.
So that means you think they're going to give up on Ja.
I don't know if it'd be Ja or JJJ, but I think one of the two has to go. Doesn't necessarily have to be a complete like everyone traded, but you definitely have to trade one of them.
I don't know. I don't really think they have a defined path forward per se.
Well, they just got a boatload of picks, including this year.
Could be used for a superstar. Could be just kept. There's no defined path yet.
So, what do you think the Magic are expecting from one player being inserted into their team? Are they expecting him to garnish all the attention so Franz and Paolo could do their mid-range stuff, or is that
No.
like just the start of what they're doing?
No, I honestly think it's just a shooter that they were looking for. A lot of people had said the Magic don't have enough shooting to win any kind of playoff. So you want to pick some players up that fit your weaknesses. He is one of those guys, and you don't lose any defense with him.
I mean, you do kind of lose perimeter defense, as you know. Desmond Bane has the shortest wingspan. I don't know about shortest, but one of the shortest. People tend to call him the T-Rex arms.
He's not a bad defender, though.
I mean, steals wise, I'm sure he puts up numbers, but like eye test wise, you're not gonna like if you're being guarded by him, you're not exactly shaking. Unless he actually is a T-Rex.
I was going to say if he's a T-Rex, I'd be more scared of that than coming up across, say, like someone with really long arms.
I honestly thought that the Magic should or the Grizzlies should look at what's his name, Jonathan Isaac, because he's like a bigger defender. If they want to win with Ja, you need kind of like bigger defenders that could cover up deficiencies on defense. But that's the problem with a lot of players is they usually most of them have a deficiency in one way or another. And Jonathan Isaac's deficiency is shooting and just offense in general. Unless he turns into some lob threat, which, I mean, it's possible, but...
What I think Ja needs is some vets on his team. Vocal leaders with experience, playoff experience for one, long time in the NBA experience with issues off the court maybe, whether it's them or their teammates.
KCP is a two-time champ, right? Lakers and
Nuggets, yeah.
Hmm.
He's a good voice.
Yeah, I mean, he's
You need
done well
more of
shooting
him.
in the past. I mean, I guess he has a lot of attention when he was on the Magic. He was one of their only like efficient three-point shooters, so maybe defense is keyed in on that. It's possible that the number goes way up next year with better shooting around him.
I don't know if it's going to go way up.
Well, it's probably like sub 340 or 34%, I mean. I could see it going into 37, 38. That's way up for me at least.
Eh. A few notches up, I mean, that's what that is to me. If you're talking jumping up to like over 40, maybe that's way up for me. You see, in this league, someone that is shooting 37% is not as valued as they once were.
I mean, it seems like it. I mean, the Magic gave a haul for shooting.
Let me ask you, what is Desmond Bane's percentage?
I want to say it's 40, or at least above 40.
Point in case.
Point in case what?
I'm saying 37 is not looked at as a high number.
Well, no, but that's not. He was not the main piece of the trade. He's a supporting piece.
So how is 34 to 37 a big jump?
I mean, that's 3 percentage points. I mean, that also puts him as an above-average three-point threat.
Slightly above. The average is 36.
Still above average.
So I would say 33 to 40 something is a bigger jump. That's what I was talking
Well,
about.
I'm not sure the exact number KCP shot. I'm assuming it's below 34. Probably like 32, 31, if I had to guess. But I had this debate today with a fellow friend. It's probably a hot take, but I told him I'd rather have Kobe White over Banchero and Franz Wagner. For team building, at least.
That's a bad take. My opinion, too.
I mean, it's a hot take, but I'm sticking to my guns. I think that Kobe White can do everything on the floor. His only deficiency is defense, which can be covered since he is a guard and not a bigger forward that is slower.
I take Banchero over all those
Kobe
guys.
White can score at every level compared to guys who like the mid-range, and Banchero and Wagner. Three-point percentage are below average, and Banchero is not a good free throw shooter.
Banchero's not that bad. You're hating on him.
Did you see his percentages?
Doesn't matter.
He shot around 34% from three.
Not too bad.
Free throw, 72%. How do you win when your main guy can't score efficiently?
Those numbers
and he is on a bad contract, or he is about to be on a...
No. Those numbers sound eerily similar to what LeBron sounded like back in the day. So your GOAT argument, well, kind of ceases to exist.
LeBron does way more than Banchero does for his team.
Yeeps.
LeBron is an all-around player.
So's Banchero.
He's not. He's just not.
He does everything. Rebounds,
I mean, he
passes,
can, but it's not efficiently.
He scores, plays some defense. I mean, more can you ask for from a young man?
I'm not saying he's a bad player. I'm saying team building wise, taking into account possible contracts that could, because Banchero and White are both expiring. Franz is making about 35 a year on average.
Franz.
Did I say Franz?
Franz.
I don't know. I meant to say Franz, but yeah, I just think Kobe White would make more sense building a team. Now, I'm not saying like number one option, who are you picking out of the three? I'm saying team building, contracts, take it into account.
Banchero.
Playoff type players. I'm taking
Banchero.
Kobe White over those three.
What's Kobe White done in the playoffs?
I trust him more as
What's he done in the playoffs?
He hasn't gotten there.
Point in case.
I mean, he has, but like...
Point in case.
Not really.
Nah, not really. He's been in play-ins.
Didn't they make it last year against... They made it one of the years in the past.
Yeah, he didn't do much, though.
He's an up-and-coming guy. He's still young.
I think Banchero showed some flashes of greatness.
I mean, yeah, but...
In the playoffs.
I don't like his deficiencies for his contract, is what I'm saying.
His contract?
Or what he's about to be making once he gets paid. You'll see. He'll be making above 40 million.
He's still young. Why are you putting him on the Paul George scale when he's
Paul George had a way better start than Banchero.
You don't criticize a young guy's contract.
I'm not.
Because there's room for growth. He's not even 25.
I'm just comparing
He's
three
not
players.
even 25 yet.
I'm just comparing 3 players, and these are the parameters. Contract, skill.
Parameters.
What they can do in the playoffs. Logically, for my case. I just think Banchero and Franz, part of it is that they don't work well together. And that's another point I wanted to make. I think Franz and... again.
Stop saying his name wrong.
I think Wagner and Banchero are way worse duo than people were making out Tatum and Brown to be, fit-wise.
I don't think anyone's saying that.
Why did people criticize the Celtics fit when the Magic fit is way worse than possible?
The simple fact that they're still way too young to even judge yet.
So were they at the time.
No, they weren't.
And they were saying they can't work together.
No, they weren't.
And they've gotten further.
No, you got to give Banchero some more years to develop.
He's also been hurt a lot.
He was drafted in the 20s.
He's also... Who?
The 2020s. Banchero and Wagner.
20, pick 20 or something. Like,
no.
Wait, what?
Give them some time to grow. They are young men.
I'm not saying they can't improve.
So why are you attacking his contract?
It was just a hot take I wanted to put out in the airwaves. See what happens with that. But in other news...
Should we talk about the Michael Beasley thing?
Yeah, I mean, Michael Beasley has been pretty active in the gym, playing in the Big Three.
The one-on-one tournaments. Like he once said, he is your favorite player's favorite player. I think Melo might have something to say that if you're a Melo fan. Melo kind of snapped back at him after he called Melo out for a one-on-one game. He said he would bust his ass. And Melo was like, I've never lost one-on-one. That's kind of a diss toward Beasley, saying they might have played in the past.
I mean, you would think.
I don't know. Well, they grew up
but
together.
Didn't Beasley say he's
they were
never lost either? I'm confused. Who's lying?
I don't know if they played or not. That's the thing. They grew up together in the Washington, Baltimore, Maryland area.
They've played together. They had to have. Who's lying? Tell us.
I don't know.
If you're not going to tell us, at least show us who's the better player.
Do you think Melo still has the capability to go out there and play at his best?
I mean, he probably needs time in the gym, honestly. Probably out of shape.
I don't know. He stays pretty healthy. I mean, it appears, but is he basketball shape is the question.
1-on-1 is a lot harder than 5-on-5 because you can't hide. You have to show effort at all times because you're the only one that could be relied upon to score or get rebounds or dribble, stuff like that. But their games are kind of similar, so it could be a fun battle.
Kind of fun, like a number 7 on Syracuse right now. A new announcement as of yesterday. The Syracuse freshmen have selected their numbers. Kai and Anthony will wear number 7, like Melo's number on the Knicks and some other teams. But he started with the Knicks because he was 15. That number is retired by the Knicks. His 15 is also retired in Syracuse. Melo, that is.
So what is the Syracuse team name?
The Orange.
Syracuse Orange?
Yeah.
That's a bad team name.
It's a great name.
Just
Their
orange.
color's orange. The Orange Men.
Wasn't there a hockey team with just
The Blues.
what? Yeah, I mean, I guess. It just sounds like a generic name, like the Washington football team. Or whatever they were called.
The Utah Hockey Club.
That's such a boring name.
Wait, do they have a name yet?
I think it's the Utah Grizzlies.
No, it ain't.
Isn't it?
It was something else, I forget, but...
Mammoths.
What?
Mammoths.
The what?
Isn't it Utah Mammoths?
That can't be the truth.
Oops.
Do they really call themselves the Mammoths?
Yep.
Oh, God. That is horrible. I like the hockey club name better.
I don't really like their logo, honestly.
I don't understand it.
Why is one beak down, but I don't understand. Is that a...
That's
I
a
don't know.
no. That's a tusk, and then the
The beak?
no, the horn. It's the beak. It's not a bird. It's a mammoth. Wow, that's stupid. But
So speaking of mammoths,
and also speaking on Beasley and one-on-ones, I've developed a specific list here, and what we're calling this is the 10 goats of buckets. These are guys that you say, go get a bucket for me, or somebody you rely on to score on anyone from anywhere.
does it have to be in the clutch?
No, anyone from anywhere. One-on-one setting, you're taking out all of the preconceived accolades or biases or any
Accolades.
kind of team results, minus any kind of injury
Did you
histories.
say accolades?
Yes, already did that. Injury histories.
Did you say accolades?
All right, enough with that. Injury history. So that means that these guys are at their primes in their full health. So, some of these guys might have been hurt or had season-ending or career-ending stuff. And then also any kind of behavioral, trust, or drug-related issues. You could take that out of the equation. These are just guys you look at one-on-one. Who's going to score for me?
Are they in order?
No. So these are just names here. We're going to show you pictures of these people, of course. You see Michael Beasley, of course, we mentioned already. He was known as your favorite players, I mentioned, but also as the man born with the hot hand. He's Melo from the left side, also known as. He is a pure bucket getter. We do have Josh Hart. I'll put this up here as well, with a quote saying...
I thought you were saying he's one of the bucket goats.
No. So Josh Hart said he would take Mike Beasley over Kevin Durant, who's another guy, my next guy. Another Baltimore, Maryland connection. Again, easy money sniper. You trust him with any kind of shot, whether it's a three, whether it's mid-range, whether it's post, whether it's a dunk on somebody. These are guys that are going to light you up. They will score on anyone. And these guys are pretty elite, those two names. On another connection that we've already mentioned, Melo. Everyone knows that he was one of the top scorers at the top of his prime. As a Knick, he led the league in scoring. As a Nugget, he was up there, top 5, I believe, most of his career there, once he got going. And he was really the guy that you trust. Isolation mode. Top of the key, you could give it to him because he's got handle. You know that Melo is also not afraid. He is going to give you clutch shots. He's going to give you shots with hands in his face. And can you go back to my list, please?
Sorry, just on KD real quick. It made me think of the horse
When they
tournament.
did the horse thing.
Durant is a 2-time horse champion. I just wanted to put that out there.
All right, so Mike Conley was one too. What's that gonna say?
That was during COVID when they were doing Zoom.
Oh, was that? Is that what that was?
Yeah, with Chris Paul and
Oh yeah, I remember that now. That was kind of interesting, actually.
doesn't count, just like the champion. Moving on.
It does count. All right, so we got 3 names so far that are from that same area of the country. Now we go to a former Melo teammate, Mr. Allen Iverson himself of the Philadelphia, Denver, Detroit, back to Philly. Any other Grizzlies in between there? He played on a few teams, in other words. Known as the ultimate bucket getter of his time, transcendent era of basketball. He once crossed Michael Jordan out of his feet. That is right. As a youth, he did that. And he was known as a bulldog, and not just because he went to Georgetown. He was known as a guy who's going to score on anyone, anywhere. He had all the game. He had the handle. He had the shot. He was dunking on people's faces as a small little 6 foot. Small. Extra small. In other words, one of the smaller people in the NBA.
Smallest goats.
He could hit from the mid range. He could hit from deep. You trust Iverson with any shot.
What about a
one-on-one?
What about a post fade on Dirk?
Oh, he could do it. He's got that energy, like just bouncy type energy. And he was a guy who was not afraid of the moment. Common theme around these parts. Speaking of not afraid of the moment, we got Kobe Bryant from that same type of era. Obviously, an ultimate bucket getter. They used to throw doubles and triples at him. He would still score over multiple hands. Whether that be...
Sounds like Embiid.
Whether that be 3-point, mid-range, he would dunk on people's faces.
Sounds like Embiid.
Not Embiid. So Bryant, you take one-on-one, there ain't no one that's going to cover him. Who covered Kobe Bryant properly? I don't think I can name anybody. Because there's no guarding a true bucket. This is what it is. Someone who could score anywhere on anyone, anyhow, anyway, any day. All right, moving on to the next name on the list. Again, no specific order. We got his counterpart, Michael Jordan. A lot of his moves were stolen from this guy, Michael Jordan. Michael Jordan, the ultimate bucket getter. Again, hands and face don't matter. Time winding down don't matter. Spot on the court don't matter. You give him the ball, you let him shoot. You don't tell him, hey, Michael, pass the ball.
You triple team.
Pass the ball, there's a double coming. You don't know what to do with it, give it to me. Michael Jordan did not have to be told to shoot. He was the man.
Anthony
the man
Edwards
with the
has
plan.
to be told.
Yeah, he's not quite there yet. Again, these are goats. All right, so now we transition into one of my favorite players of all time. You got certain people alluding to if he never got hurt, what the legendary case of a T-Mac would be. So T-Mac was the ultimate sniper before KD. You would see T-Mac jump so high on his 3-point jumper, he could shoot over any kind of player. And he's got that nice smooth touch, smooth look. A lot smoother looking than his cousin, Vince Carter, as far as jumpers go. I would also say that he had that same kind of bounce that Vince Carter did too. So he was dunking on people, driving to the hoop, Lots of reverses. Those lays. Not the chips, because he didn't get any. But the question is, are these guys going to score on anyone, anywhere, not their teams? So, T-Mac, one of the all-time best as far as scoring on people. And speaking on all-time...
Did he get like 9 points and what was the record?
It was like 9 points in something seconds. 13 or something like that. Pretty insane from a guy. Again, true bucket. And speaking on all time, we got some names from the past here. We got the Iceman himself. Now, I didn't watch a lot of tape on this guy, but I've heard from many people, and I've heard lots of scouting that this guy was the original OG as far as buckets. George Gervin, the Iceman. You give him the ball, you let him shoot. Of Spurs lore, this guy was a sniper. Now, this was not a time of three-point jacks. This was a time of drive your way, find open holes, use your feet to open up space for yourself in the mid-range, the post areas. This guy was elite. An elite scorer. That's what we want. Elite scoring. A true bucket. And a GOAT at that. A lot of people took moves off of George Gervin, including Melo. Next, but not least.
No, there's 2 more.
I know, but not least. I didn't say last. We got James Worthy. Now, for those who are youthful, like my compadre here, James Worthy was a part of many title teams on the Lakers. Often overshadowed by the elite passing of Magic Johnson, the elite playmaking of Magic Johnson, the elite rebounding, the elite FaceTime.
The first or second option.
The elite FaceTiming of Magic Johnson, the Kareem Abdul-Jabbars of the world. Also played with Michael at UNC. Often overlooked, but never doubted when he was on the court. Because if you went to go face this guy one-on-one, James Worthy was giving you a bucket. The guy was just straight clutch. He was a straight shooter. Score from anywhere. On anyone. The reason why UNC was so good was not because of Michael Jordan. If those don't know, Dean Smith often held Michael Jordan back in college. So James Worthy was their real primary offensive threat. I bet you didn't know that. Did you?
No.
Because James Worthy was the original top recruit for UNC. Jordan had to work his way up. And then people saw who he was. With the clutchness. But anyway, that goes to show you, like, James Worthy was just like an underrated sniper when it came to the NBA. But as far as people who were playing back then, they knew who he was. And, I mean, I'm sure Lakers fans know all about James Worthy. Last but not least, you got a former Knick, former Net. Career cut short by devastating knee injuries. But when he was healthy, this guy was dropping 30 to 40 almost nightly. Sometimes 50, a little bit of 60s in there. Bernard King himself, number 30. There was a Christmas game against the Net.
I think you picked the wrong number, 30.
Not too much. There was a Christmas Day game against the Nets for the Knicks. I believe he scored like 50-something that night. They would just give him the ball like in the mid-post or mid-range area. He would just go to work on people. Like, they knew it was... There's something to say, like, when you know a play is going to be run exactly how it's run and he's still scoring on you. That is the definition of can score on anyone, anywhere. He had a nice jumper. He had a nice shot. Again, not in the era of three-pointers too much, but he could shoot them when given the opportunity, and the time was right at that time. Again, not centric to the offense back then. 80s, as in. The 80s was more, again, like mid-post, mid-range, get into the paint. This guy was an elite shooter from any spot on that spot. And if he had to, again, he could shoot threes. Same with James Worthy. Those guys, I mean, for that era, and then Gervin, obviously, with the 70s and 80s there. I think people don't give those guys enough credit for being ultimate buckets. And
Do you give honorable mentions to anyone?
I mean, I left Curry off this list simply because
Larry Bird.
I mean, Larry Bird, it's tough to say because these are guys. I mean, to make a list of 10, for one, there's going to be honorable mentions. Curry, Bird, Thompson, I guess. Like, there's so many shooters nowadays.
Reggie Miller.
No, he's not. There's a difference between, like, being annoying with some clutchness and making big shots as opposed to being an ultimate bucket. He was not the guy that could score
Robert
from.
Horry.
Yeah, but those guys hit clutch shots. They're not scoring from anywhere. That's the point. These guys are not dunking on people. They're not, driving to the paint.
I've seen Curry dunk on people.
Yeah, I mean, that's not, like, ferocious, though. Like, Iverson would take bodies with him.
Jason Richardson.
Yeah, he's not really, like, that type of guy. You're just thinking of one specific thing that they do, but
I'm just trying to give you some ideas.
No, I don't need ideas. These are guys that dominated every level of scoring.
Paul Pierce.
No, he didn't dominate. There's a difference between being good at something and then great at all of it. These are guys who had a great touch at every spot on the court, no matter who was in front of them. It didn't matter. It could be the smallest, quickest guard guarding you, or it could be the biggest guy like a Shaq guarding you. These guys are going to still get their buckets.
Not even Spreewell?
Not even close. I mean, again, I love Spreewell, but that's not what this segment is. Spreewell was not the guy you could say, oh, go get me a bucket. You had to create plays for that.
What about Hakeem?
He couldn't shoot like that. I mean, you're not going to say, Hakeem, take the ball at the three-point line. None of these guys I mentioned had any deficiency handling. The ultimate one-on-one players.
Yeah, I mean, can't really think of anyone else who could argue to be in the top 10. I'm sure there's some I might be forgetting, and maybe you're forgetting, but
there's a guy in the Nuggets, I can't think of the name.
Nuggets.
Thompson? Is it Thompson?
How old are you thinking?
70s or 80s. Consistent score. Hold on.
Why am I thinking
He's
Bob
gonna be a
Silas?
Not even. That's not even a guy. Paul Silas was a coach and a player.
Alex English?
Yeah, Alex English is the guy. I mean, he's on my honorable mention. David Thompson wasn't. I was just mixing them up. Alex English was good back in the day.
Oh, wow. Still. Oh, wait, he doesn't coach anymore.
He only won one scoring championship, though. Again, I didn't say anything about using accolades, but if you're talking strictly buckets.
28.4 in that era. But holy crap, Tree Rollins, I haven't heard that name in forever.
Blocks, though.
But yeah, those are his 10 goats of a bucket. Is that what
10 goats of the buckets.
Now we transition into what is it called?
The world of silly.
The world of silly.
What do you have on silly?
I thought that was your thing.
I just talked for like 20 minutes. Alright, so the world of... Alright. Let's get serious. The world of silly is a serious world. Not really. The world of silly. Now, we did hear about the extender. I heard there's a movie coming out featuring a certain NBA ref. You know his name?
Donahue.
No. Scott Foster is starring in a role called The Extender.
Is he the main character?
Yeah. I've seen a lot of memes about it. Anyway, I hope you enjoyed the 37th episode with our new adjustments, new attitudes, new looks. And today we're going to finish us off with a silly song. We get into the rhythm.
What's the song?
Buckets. I get buckets. I get buckets. Threes! It's the only thing I want. The only thing I need to get. Buckets! It's the only thing. Alright. Enough
Like,
of that.
comment, subscribe.
To the freaking pod, episode 37.